push that Oscillator all the way to the top of his band, and then either fill this down gap entirety of it or gap it over. If not, ladies and gentlemen, K-Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading. Today, market is up about 1.4% there. On the S&P Nasdaq 1.8, semiconductor made a move 3.3% positive. Dow 1, Russell 2000, transport, banks, energy, biotech, healthcare, home builders, utility, retail, emerging market. All these guys are green today. Bitcoin down, gold, silver miners are up slightly. Dollar down, oil down, treasury bond up, VIX is down today. Let's do it. S&P 500 ETF. Spider! 65-minute chart here. So this is where we closed yesterday. It looks like we actually saw a up gap this morning. It looks like on that first hour right at open, the bears trying to fill that up gap as quickly as possible. However, they were not able to succeed filling that up gap, as you can see here. So they left a little bit. When the gap doesn't get fully filled, it's going to favor the buyers. So you can see once that gap wasn't fully closed, buyers rushed in on that first hour. And on that second hour, why did we see that downturn? Because of my short-term moving average. Keep in mind that on that gap up, bulls have now reclaimed that micro-term. Remember that micro-term moving average coming down, acting as resistance yesterday, right? Third hour and the sixth hour, we talked about that on the last night's update. So once we did see that gap up, bulls were able to reclaim that micro-term, reprogram that micro-term to support the buyers. So when the short-term moving average, right, that green dotted moving average right here, that moving average is still bearish. It is still supporting the sellers. So you can see on the second hour, came down. Keep in mind that micro-term is now supporting the buyers. The first and second and third and fourth. That micro-term is making sure that the price is propped up here. So on the fourth hour, we did see that green candle. A little pause on the fifth hour. On the last hour, though, what happened was not only it reclaimed that short-term moving average that acted as resistance, as you can see here with thrust at above it. What happened was that majority of that gap here, almost 50% of this down gap that was opened back in 22nd, almost 50% of that gap has been filled. That real estate has been reclaimed by the buyers. So what can we expect going into tomorrow? So you can see as I zoom out a little bit, this is what we talked about last week, that this is an island top reversal gap, right? You said that's an up gap. That's a down gap, that pink box there. So that down gap must be filled because this down gap is making this entire thing right here an island. Buyers must fill this up gap. Better yet, because once the gap gets filled, it's going to act as resistance. Not to mention my midterm moving average is hanging around at 420. So if buyers don't even want to deal with this resistance area right here, because this entire vicinity is going to act as resistance. And if this down gap isn't fully filled, like what happened here this morning, things could still get hectic for the buyers. So I think the best case scenario is to gap up above it tomorrow morning. If they want the most smooth transition to the upside, that means it needs to gap up at least 422.3 there, right? If it can gap up maybe somewhere, let's say it gaps up somewhere like 421.50, right? Let's say it gaps up somewhere about here. I think if they can fill that remaining gap quickly and float around all throughout the day tomorrow, that's still gonna be the victory for the buyers. Obviously, if you're a seller, you're desperately seeking some sort of shenanigan downside move where you make sure to protect this island gap with everything you have. You got to bring all your boss bears here. Make sure the bulls cannot come any closer in this vicinity. Then there's a chance you can still see 413, maybe even below. So this is a very important level for both bulls and bears. Let's check out that oscillator. So that oscillator is obviously now really have been matured. As you can see right here, that oscillator is. We've been talking about the mini bullish divergence the last couple days. And you can see it started as a kind of little bit of a separation and a little bit of advancement. Now it has fully matured, and now we're getting to near that overbought level. However, you can see where buyers are not fully tired yet. They have little bit of room left. This means buyers must act tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that buyers need to utilize this energy, bring that oscillator all the way to the top of its band, and then either fill this down gap, entirety of it, or gap it over. If not, bears are very angry, and boss bears are getting ready to punish. I'm gonna come back for you. We'll reassess the situation. Enjoy your evening. Go train tomorrow.